2 over 7, both a fraction and a rational number. 4 isn't a fraction, but a rational number. Root 5 over 9, that's neither a fraction nor a rational number. Fractions and rational numbers, they sound like different names for the same thing, right? But don't be fooled, they are not identical. Their difference starts right at the definition. A fraction is a number written in the form of a over b, where b isn't 0. Here, both a and b are integers, so 2 over 7 is a fraction, but 4 isn't. What about root 5 over 9? Since the numerator is not an integer, technically it's not a fraction. Sure, in the broader sense, even when the numerator or denominator is not an integer, people sometimes still call it a fraction. But strictly speaking, in math, a fraction means both numbers are integers. A rational number is any number that can be written as a ratio of two integers, p and q, with q not equal to 0. So every fraction is also a rational number, because p over q means the same as p to q. But not every rational number has to look like a fraction. Take 6, for example. It doesn't look like a fraction, but you can always write it as 6 over 1. That makes it rational. So where does this difference between fractions and rational numbers come from? It comes from what each concept was originally compared to. Let's rewind a bit back to the history of numbers. The first numbers humans used were natural numbers. Later, when people needed to describe amounts smaller than 1, fractions appeared. They divided one whole into equal parts to represent smaller quantities. Fractions were already used in ancient civilizations such as Egypt and China. So fractions emerged as a concept that stood opposite to natural numbers. Now, what about rational numbers? In ancient Greece, people believed that every number could be described as a natural number or a ratio of two natural numbers. But when the Pythagoreans discovered root 2 through the Pythagorean theorem, everything changed. No matter what two natural numbers you picked, you couldn't express root 2 as their ratio. That discovery was shocking. From then on, numbers that could be written as a ratio of two integers were called rational numbers, and those that couldn't were called irrational numbers. Rational numbers were defined as the opposite of irrational numbers. Here's a fun fact. Fractions, rational numbers, and even irrational numbers were all discovered long before the Common Era. But the names themselves came much later in the modern era, when mathematicians started organizing the number system more formally. A fraction is defined by its form. A rational number is defined by its property. Every fraction is a rational number, but not every rational number is a fraction. Still confused? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for the next math travel. Thank you.